So we are 1 week away from Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 95 being released. That means that we're 5 chapters away from Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 100. That's pretty crazy. I remember when anime episode 100 aired, which was actually Goku fighting Kale going berserk. It was the one episode where they took a lot of scenes from the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Z one, and gave it to Kale. And now we're about to hit chapter 100. So right now we're in the middle of the very much drawn out superhero retelling, and quite frankly, as I've said before, there's not much here if you already saw the movie. We're going to be discussing the draft pages that have come out for the chapter. Last time where we left off in the superhero arc, Gohan had confronted the Red Ribbon Army and was fighting the Gammas, and he had transformed into Ultimate Gohan. So that's where we left off. And it says here, upon seeing Pan seemingly under attack by a Red Ribbon Army goon, Gohan snaps and awakens his true power. Just what will happen next in his ongoing battle with Gamma 1. Now, his true power is what we had all thought before the movie was Ultimate Gohan, because of course, the Supreme Kai, the old Supreme Kai, uses that ability, that magic, to unlock your maximum potential from within. Did a video years ago called Ultimate Gohan Explained here on the channel where I went into it. But of course that was not Gohan's, real true power, because Beast Gohan or Gohan Beast would really be it. So let's go ahead and talk about these upcoming draft pages where there's extra scenes. Luckily, thank goodness, because we really needed a lot of extra stuff here. The last few chapters may have had like 1 or 2 extra scenes. Here, hopefully, we've got more. So let's take a look here at a little bit more context. Basically, we have extra scenes featuring Bulma and the gang that were not in the movie. So if we take a look right here, go ahead and let's get into the draft pages. Bulma is out with Bra, aka Bulla, Vegeta's daughter. That scene was not in the manga. And, not in the anime. And Krillin. Krillin, of course, has been someone in the chapter, in the arc so far, that's gotten extra screen time, way more than from the movie. I find it interesting that the one character that got a lot of extra stuff was Krillin. There was a little bit more with Broly, bit more brawling with Broly and Goku on on Beerus' planet. But Krillin's been the other guy to get a bunch of extra scenes. Have they mattered much? I wouldn't say so, but, that's neither here nor there. Krillin, of course, in the manga version of the events, he's the guy who has been tasked with taking Dr. Hedo and bringing him to justice. If you remember, he already got locked up. He already got arrested at the end of the prequel stuff, or the prelude stuff, the stuff that takes place before the actual movie story, with Goten and Trunks being Saiyaman X1 and X2. So he's gotten a lot of screen time. But my prediction, and right here we have more of the fight. As you can see, I'm going to get into the translations here in just a minute. But we do have more of Ultimate Gohan versus Gamma. Kudos again. This is obviously draft pages, so it's not the final product. But kudos to Toyotaro for drawing some relatively neat art here. Obviously it's just a draft, but if you look, you can really see the detail on Gohan's face, the seriousness, his daughter's in danger. That is appreciated. However, I don't think any manga is going to be able to really capture the feel of the movie. Not just, obviously it's 2D versus the 2D, 3D kind of look of the film. And, I prefer 2D animation, but this is still not quite, as resonant as the movie. So, the whole thing here, like we talked about, is Piccolo trying to unlock Gohan's fighting spirit, because Gohan's taking this fight very seriously. These scenes right here, similar to, although not identical to, the fight from the film. Gohan's speed and power have obviously increased to the point where the Gammas are surprised, but the Gammas can also increase their power and speed as well. It actually says right here, you have to check out the new chapter to find out if Gohan can manage to turn this dire situation around, or you can watch the movie that's been out for almost a year. So actually, if you remember, it was a year ago. It was actually a year ago, like 2 weeks ago, I think, that the movie had actually leaked online, and most people that are in the online sphere were able to see the movie. I'm not going to say all, but people in the fandom were able to see it because it was all over the place, including on YouTube for a while. So now it's on Crunchyroll, so anybody can see it. Let's go ahead and get over to the translation section, and we'll talk about what was going on here in this first scene. Go with Herm, so I'm going to head over there now. So let's go ahead and get to Herm's translation. I want to say real quick that when it comes to predictions, based on the timing and the pacing of this manga chapter, of this whole arc, Orange Piccolo will definitely be revealed in this chapter. And they're not going to make any major changes. They're going to add little things here and there, like this scene with Bulma and Krillin. But I wouldn't, like I've said before, y'all, I wouldn't expect anything too drastic. All I would hope for as a fan, is a little bit more information of the Namekian legend of the orange, like, the tree, how it links to Orange Piccolo's power, and whether or not it's like a Namekian god. That's something that I personally would love to see elaborated on, and more context on what Orange Piccolo actually is. That'll be coming up on this chapter. That's a prediction, not a spoiler, based on the pacing. So that's why I'm probably going to title this video about the appearance of of Orange Piccolo, because he's going to appear in this chapter. So let's go ahead and get to the extra stuff here. Herm says the roughs are out for DBS chapter 95, the mightiest teacher and disciple, which is about Gohan and Piccolo, of course, fighting Gamma 1 and 2. The West City police monitor the situation at RR headquarters, while at the theater, Krillin and family finish watching Clean God 2. So the movie did come out. The Clean God movie did come out. Okay. Marin loved it, while 18 thought it was stupid. that seems oddly in character here. Says here, Krillin suddenly senses Gohan's key and gets a call from his police chief, Nuts. Let's not forget that character, who apologizes for calling him while off duty. She explains how they've located the RR base thanks to seeing through its hologram camouflage, and Krillin realizes Gohan's key is in that direction too. So this just gives us context as to how and why we have these characters showing up at the end of, near the end of the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie. They show up. Goten and Trunks are also there, which leads to Gotenks and 18 being involved in the fight, as well as Krillin. Obviously, a lot of this was inspired by the Bio Broly movie, because that was the main cast for the Bio Broly movie. But they're teaming up with Gohan and Piccolo to battle it out with Cell Max. So we're already going in the direction of Cell Max. Will we see Cell Max in this chapter? My prediction is no. I think Cell Max will appear in the next chapter, coming up in in August. I think we'll see Cell Max in August, and that will begin that. We still have a lot more left, because the Gammas have to lose, and Dr. Hedo has to, deal with Magenta, and his turn. So I don't think we're going to see Cell Max yet. We got one more page here of translations, which gives us even more context for what they're adding and for the movie. Herm says that Krillin says he's got a bad feeling and that he'll go investigate on his own, and trusting Nuts with protecting any nearby civilians. 18 doesn't like Krillin getting a call from some woman and bailing on them. I don't know why that made me smile. So she insists on tagging along, which Krillin admits might be helpful. And of course, we'll get Goten and Trunks, because they want to be involved. They want the adventure like we saw in the Saiyaman arc. They'll be coming too. Anyways, those are my thoughts. That's my prediction. And those are the translations from Herms of the extra scene in chapter 95. Hopefully we'll get more to actually talk about when the chapter comes out. I hope so, man, because damn. Take care, y'all. I got some I got tons of new content I'm working on, and you'll see a big increase in uploads once that gets done, but it's going to take some time because I'm working on something really big that I've never done before. So, we'll discuss that in the future. See you then.